good?
Yes, we're good.
All right,
We're on.
live. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the last video of 2023. It said that I'm taking a break. I already did the last ride in the last video. If you haven't checked it out, we went on a failed group ride. Mr. Steve is behind the camera filming me. We went on a ride, blah, blah, blah. It was a fail, but I did tell you guys that I'm doing a Q&A, so the people that did follow me on Instagram, they asked me a bunch of questions. This time we're going to be doing it a little different. Usually we do it at the end of the year, but now it's going to be different. I haven't even seen the questions. So he's going to
Yes, sir.
look at the questions, read them, do all that stuff. I teased that a little bit before. I was like, I don't know if I should do gold titanium on this, but we bought a bunch. This is a lot of money of gold and titanium stuff for the rush, because after the last photo shoot we did, the rush kind of grew on me and I decided that it's probably going to stay in the collection for a long time. So the holidays got the best of me and I decided to spend some money on gold and titanium stuff. So yeah, we have a ton of gold titanium stuff. We're going to start doing the headlight, and there's a ton. I'm saying I'll show you guys as we go. There's boxes on boxes of bolts. But yeah, so we're going to start doing the bolts, and while I do that, he's going to ask me questions. So hopefully that helps some of you with ADHD like myself. But we're going to start with the easy stuff. So these bolts right here are going to be replaced. And then he has my phone. He's going to be asking me the questions. It's about to lock.
Oh,
so
good
I got
call.
you.
Good call.
I saw that. All right, Mr. Steve, ask away.
All right, let's see here. We're going to give this a little scroll and see what tickles my fancy here. A lot of questions in here.
Bro, I did scroll and saw, okay, we already have a little issue. Hopefully this does fit, because these are not the same length. The titanium ones are a bit longer.
Yeah, like half an inch.
So hopefully it's not going to stick out.
All right, first question. What got you into bikes?
That's actually a story that I've told a lot of people, and the main thing is that me and one of my best friends, I think they did this on purpose, so the gold kind of stands out a little bit more. Sorry, this is a first try, so bear with me. The question, what got me into bikes? I didn't even answer it. I already got distracted with this. But what got me into bikes, me and my friend were at In-N-Out, and I literally saw two street bikes. I think they were just 600s with underglow and stuff like that. And they were just mobbing really late together, and I was like, that looks like a lot of fun, just two friends going on a ride late night, because I used to love night drives, but now I don't know, when I saw the bikes I was like, that's the next level of kind of I don't know, fun, freedom, all that stuff. So it just got stuck in my head. I've always been into vehicles in general, cool cars, bikes, planes, you name it. Yeah, I just saw these two bikers and I was like, that looks like a lot of fun, and I kind of just wanted a bike then. And me and my friend talked about it, and I ended up full sending it, and he did not. So That's literally how it started. I just saw two guys riding at night, and I was a car guy. I wanted a bike on the side. Got a bike on the side that was kind of too slow and horrible, so I upgraded to a 600 almost right after, and that's what started it all. And now look at us.
There it is.
With a few bikes.
Only a couple.
Yes.
How much horsepower does H2R have?
So we got it done on the dyno. It did 270, pretty much 275 to the wheel, which is a bit low. That was after tuning it, by the way. Before tuning it, it was at 250, which is not bad in general, but for the H2R, because this is rated at 330 horsepower bone stock, which is absolutely crazy. But 250 to the wheel was very far off from 330 crank, which is where the disconnect was. Pretty disappointed with, because the H2 with a full system, air filter, the basic bolt-ons, and then when you tune it, that's what this one made, 250. So I'm technically, I get that this is stock, but it's not at the same time, because it already comes with a bunch of stuff. But this one has cams and other parts, supercharger gears are upgraded, so theoretically it should be making a lot more power than this, even though it's stock. That being said, that dyno day was a pretty hot day, so it wasn't this, I don't know, the best time to do a dyno runs, especially because they have been using that dyno. So usually when they're using it more, the dyno room gets hotter and the air is not as clean and stuff like that. So it wasn't the best day. It should make 10 to 15 more to the wheel. By the end of the day, that day after tuning, it made 275 to the wheel. I don't want to lose any of these bolts too, so sometimes I gotta focus a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Also, I think I'm over torquing him. That's my big issue with working on bikes. I always overdo everything. I need to not go as crazy.
Take it easy, my guy.
Yeah, I get too excited and like, let's go. And I'm pretty sure I'm cross-threading this right now, but it's okay. It's never gonna come out, so nobody's ever gonna know. No one's gonna know. So yeah, the H2R did 275 to the wheel on a better day, like a cooler day. It was like 80, 90 degrees that day. On a cooler day, that bike will definitely do like above, I want to say between 280 to 290 to the wheel, which is around that 330 crank horsepower. But that is also after we corrected the fueling on it. So technically, bone stock, it did not make like maybe barely 300 flat, so not 330. All right, I took too long with that question.
No, I think you got it. Yeah, I think it was solid. All right.
I have a lot of bolts to replace, so I guess I can tell some stories.
Exactly. All right, here's a pretty good one. In your opinion, top 5 bikes of all time?
5. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I like that question. That's a good question. Whenever it's talking about bikes, I'm always like enjoying it. See, this is me. I know this is good, but I want to like always tighten it up a little bit more. I don't want this expensive titanium stuff to go flying, so.
I'm gonna ride behind you with a magnet.
Just titanium?
No, I don't think so. I'm just joking.
They're magnetized. But look at that. First thing done. It's just subtle details.
Looks
Actually,
pretty good.
looks really sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Like it makes it stand out. You didn't notice the bolts before, but now you do. That's what I was worried about because gold is a little overpowering. So I was worried about it being a bit much, I guess. Okay, so top 5 bikes of all time. I gotta go the V4R right behind you. And by the way, we have like my childhood friend right here next to us. So he's just chilling in the background. He's visiting from technically Canada, but technically Greece at the same time. Yeah, he's my. I've known him since I was in like, I don't know, like elementary school. But yeah, he's just hanging out here as I'm filming this video. Part of why I decided to take a break, you know, to just hang out for once, and I haven't taken a break in a long time. But yeah, so the V4R for sure. It's my favorite bike to ride. A lot of fun, and it's light and it's powerful and it has good technology and it looks good. It just does not sound good. That's the one downside. So definitely, I would say the V4R. Obviously, I'm gonna say the H2 and H2 are in the same category because they're somewhat the same. So those are my favorite bikes of all time. Third place, definitely gotta give it to the BMW. I think that's the perfect daily that is at the same time like really cool and really like, I don't know, it just does everything right. You know what I mean? If you want a bike that is pretty, is rare, rides easy, but also like really fast and smooth and technology, it's just a perfect package. So BMW for sure. After that, I'm gonna have to go with the R1M or just the R1s in general. I think those bikes have like a perfect balance with value, looks, sound specifically. Like Yamaha did a crazy thing with that crossplane engine. It's unique to itself. The only thing that comes close to it is the Aprilia with the V4 engine, but it's pretty different than that. That one's like more raspy. So definitely I would say that in 4th position. And last one, I might give it to the Fireblade actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Fireblade has grown on me. And actually, before I buy these titanium stuff, I almost bought a ton of carbon fiber for this. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that's a good idea. So I'm keeping the livery on it, the white, blue, red, all that, but I'm changing a lot of the pieces to like plastics here, the frame, the rear hugger, front hugger, like, details like I do with most of my bikes to forged carbon. So not even plain carbon, which the plan was to do plain carbon, but I already have the Rush and the V4R, which are plain carbon. All my other bikes are twill carbon, so I wanted to spice it up. I've always wanted to do forged, but I feel like forged doesn't really fit on the Fireblade because it's a Japanese bike. I feel like forged is more like bougie, so I feel like on a Ducati or a BMW it would look better. So I don't know, I just couldn't decide, so I didn't do that forged carbon. I haven't bought carbon pieces in a while, so I really wanted to, but I did not. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys think I should do.
All right, so there's the top 5.
Yeah, so that's the top 5 of bikes. V4R, H2 for sure, BMW, those are definitely like top 3. And then I would do the R1M because of that character, and the Fireblade is just like a sick, fast, all-around bike that is insanely underrated. Like it's hard to give it anything. Actually, in the series that I did where I rated bikes out of 100 and did a rating, this actually beat the M1000 WR, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Maybe they're more like even, but I don't know, this is just very, very underrated. Keep in mind, this is like $10,000 less and that M1000RR over there. So it's the package that it comes with is pretty wild.
This dude's got it pretty unlocked here. He says, what's your dream car after Lamborghinis?
Interesting. I don't know, is that realistic or unrealistic? How about you make that suggestion? Like unrealistic dream or realistic dream car?
It's too realistic for the people.
Realistic? After Lamborghini, that's kind of hard. Let's say if I got Lamborghinis already, that means I'm already doing well. So I feel like after a Lamborghini, I would probably already have my GTR and my G-Wagon because Lamborghini is kind of like past that. So I would say it would be like a lower end hypercar, realistically. If I'm already at the Lambo level, like what's after that? So you know what I mean? I would do like maybe like a 918.
Okay, there we
like
go.
A Porsche 918, maybe like a McLaren Senna. You know what I mean? Like the hypercars that are like around that million range, not like the crazy, you know, like Bugatti, Koenigsegg type of stuff. So I would do like either the 918 or the Senna. The P1 is too expensive, even though I would like a P1. I'm not a McLaren type of guy, so most likely I would do the 918. I don't know, I just really like that car. Something about it. It's just like timeless in my opinion. But the Senna is so badass, like just aggressive, you know what I mean? Which I like aggressive, obviously, since I love H2Rs and all these bikes. So I don't know, one of these, I guess, if that's realistic.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I like this one a lot, especially because it kind of is partial to me. We ever get a turbo bike?
See, I don't know why I wanted to say that in Spanish, but yes. Yes, I would definitely want to get a turbo bike, especially, you guys already know, I've talked about it on the channel. I do want a turbo Busa eventually. And it's a possibility to get a Busa just so I can, you know, do a build series on it and turbo and all that. But I don't really have anyone that specializes in that. So that would be a little bit harder to kind of like, I don't know, figure out, deal with. And, you know, getting the Busa itself, I don't think a Busa is a good fit for me. But if it's turbo, then I will take it. So yeah, definitely a turbo bike is for sure like a big option. But obviously, I don't know when because the garage is too full now. So we're kind of tapped out. If I do swap bikes, I'll probably get rid of the Super Duke, even though I do enjoy it. Part of me wants to give it a break, do the full custom system on it, like, you know, full straight pipe, because that twin is going to sound crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, and unlock it with a tech pack or whatever that I have to buy from KTM, so I have the auto blipper, and then try it then. Because in my opinion, it's still like the best daily that is not a Super Sport, but as I said, I mainly ride the Super Sports, that's why it's kind of like, if I had to get rid of one, it would probably be the KTM, and I'll get something special. That's cool, but it's more like, you know, daily, mid.
But we're not doing stretched.
No, definitely not. I do not like stretch bikes. Stop asking me to stretch the H2 and stuff like that. Not a fan. It does not look good. To me, a stretch bike is like when you're, I don't know, like running like a Mustang 5.0 and you have the massive like slicks on the back of it. I'm like, calm down, bro. It's not that serious. That's how I see it. I mean, especially for bikes that I like want to ride all the time and enjoy.
I think it's a good answer. Fire.
Give me a little bit of a break because I need to figure out. It says headlight and cover. I'm pretty sure I bought these two. I might have bought these instead actually. I'm not sure. If I did buy these, I'm not going to do them here because these need to be torque spec'd and I do not have torque specs, so maybe I'll do them next time when I go to my boy shop, but we'll replace some of the basic stuff for now. But yeah, let's take these out and see if this is the correct fit. It's a different head too.
This is one that I think is kind of interesting. Do you have a bike you regret buying?
That's a good one. I think we kind of like touched a little bit on it in the last one. The first time I thought I regretted buying something was the Rush. I wasn't sure about it. This was my first naked bike. After I finished my Superbike collection, I was kind of like, okay, this is it, and you know, I don't know what is next, but for the most part, this is using Loctite, so maybe it is the same one. Maybe it is just
yeah,
these two
good call.
Loctite. This is really tight. I don't like this at all. How much Loctite did they use here? Oh, this is exactly what I'm worried about. Oh yeah, there is a nut at the bottom, but look at what happened.
It snapped off. It torqued off.
Hopefully it doesn't go flying. I mean, it's just holding this little carbon piece. So I really don't think you actually need any like that.
That would mean you'd have to take the headlight off in order to access that.
This is also why sometimes I just decide to take it to my boy's shop. This actually looks like a perfect fit, so I think it is the right one. The company decided that you don't really need all this MB. And I think that this looks a lot cleaner than this. So yeah, let's just do that. All right, what was the question? Oh, regret buying. So yeah, initially it was the Rush. Over time, definitely grew on me, and I ended up liking the Rush more and more. So technically, it's not really the rush anymore. Because that's why I'm spending more money on it and modifying it, because the goal for this bike is to make it the best looking, not like rush in the world. I think we're already past that. To make it the best looking naked bike, period. Wow, that actually fits really nice. It has to be for this piece though. Except that, oh, that's why there is.
It's not grabbing it from the bottom, huh?
Yeah. Anyways, let's answer the question. Technical difficulties. But I think the only bike that I kind of somewhat maybe regret buying would be the KTM. I don't know, I feel like they could have done more. All my other bikes are like special models, or you know, there's something about them that I really like. I think the KTM I got mainly for the subs for you guys, because you guys really wanted me to get a Super Duke. And there's no limited model rare Super Duke. There's the R, but we don't have that version. That's only in Europe, so I can't even get that bike. I think the same thing is gonna happen where it's just gonna snap, to be honest.
That one didn't break. There you go. It's right there in the little crack.
Yeah, this is I've never seen a bolt like this. Look at this. It's like two different threads in one. Like has
it's a taper
thick
one, yeah.
And then like, yeah, it tapers in it. It's like completely different one for the nut. This is a very weird design.
All right, next question. Would you consider to buy a stock Harley and put a turbo on it?
No. We already talked about the turbo. Obviously, it's going to be a Busa. Or maybe a Gixxer 1000. A Gixxer, pretty much. I feel like that fits the Gixxer. Like, the only time I would want to get a Gixxer is to have it turboed. I did try a few Harleys and just was not a big fan.
Would you ever come and visit the UK?
Yes, I've actually been to London before when I was younger. Just me and my friends before like I got into bikes and all that when I was a lot younger. But yeah, I went there and it was fun. So I definitely like would consider. I definitely eventually want to travel more to places where there is a little bit of a bike scene. And I guess the UK is one of them. Asia for sure. India would be crazy. But yeah, there's the Middle East. There's a lot of places that I would want to go and ride there because I feel like it's just gonna be such a different experience.
All right, here's one that I know the answer of a little bit. Thoughts on getting a Triumph motorcycle?
That was supposedly the next bike, actually. I almost bought that instead of the KTM, the Super Duke. It honestly might have been a better option. Which Triumph? It would have been the Triple RR, not the RS, the double R, which has that super veloce look. It's like a cafe racer vibe, which, you know, is a bit better looking in my opinion than a full-on naked bike, because it's like half cafe, half sport bike, you know, so like half naked in a way. Like fairings, I like fairings. I feel like the naked bike look doesn't look the best for me. This I like because it's very classic. Like this headlight with this design, it's a one-of-one design for the Rush. You know, super rare, limited. I love the color combo. So this one is different. This one is special. But in general, I realize that I'm not a big fan of like just regular naked bikes. I think that Speed Triple Double R would have been cool, and also would be unique because that's a triple engine. All of these are 4 cylinders. This is the only double engine, or twin, I guess.
Twin, yeah.
Double. So definitely a triple would be really cool. I feel like the Speed Triple is like, obviously, you know, the Double R is cool looking. It's white. It has like Brembos, carbon, Ohlins. That bike comes like stacked. And actually, Troy from Brent Tuning told me, because I asked him which one I should get, and do you guys tune them? And he said, yeah, we tuned both, but he definitely recommended me the Speed Triple. But I think the fan favorite, I did a vote, and you guys really wanted the Super Duke, so I ended up with the Super Duke. And I like it, but I think the Triumph would have been better because they actually make supercharger kits for that bike, which would have been a crazy build. Like, you know, I can do more with it. I think that alone would get me more excited and crazy content. But as I said, the Super Duke, there's only so much I can do with it. I feel like if I was a stunt rider, the Super Duke would have been perfect.
All right, now this one can be either bike related or non-bike related.
Okay.
What was the best thing you did all year?
I have to give it, like, the first thing that pops up to my head if I think about it, you know, I can come up with a few things, but I have to like say the H2R. This is technically the bike that got me into like obsessed with bike. As I said, in the start, I just wanted a bike to have a bike, like for fun. But when I started doing more research about bikes and I saw videos of the H2R and saw that this thing has the record from 0 to 400 kilometers in 26 seconds, which is just mind blowing, you know, for the US people like, you know, me. It's 0 to pretty much 250 miles an hour in 26 seconds from a standstill. That's just mind-blowing. And by the way, I did discover that was not stock when they did that. So they had to like do some tweaks and stuff like that, which I'm gonna make a separate video about and talk about, because we do want to do some crazy speeds with this thing. I feel like that's kind of the point of this bike, right? So yeah, the first thing that pops up to my head is this thing, which is funny because when I was buying it, I was very hesitant because it was like, it's pretty much just like the H2, just double the price. You know, it's a tracked bike, it's not a street bike like the H2 that has complications. You're supposed to maintain it like every 15 hours or something like that. So it had a lot of like negatives and I wasn't sure about it.
Look at that, dude. Looks great.
Yeah, those definitely, I feel like these ones were cool, but like, all right, these definitely changed it up because I made it look more flush. These were just, the way they're sticking out just with the silver just wasn't it. That looks horrible. This looks way more fitting with the bike.
Yeah, definitely more premium for sure.
Yeah.
I know the answer to that.
But yeah, it has to be getting the H2R, sorry. I don't know. If I think about it, there's probably like more things that are, I guess, more meaningful, but the H2R has to, like, I got an H2R in 2023, so.
Will you ever get another duck in the future?
Yes.
All right.
No. Yeah, I don't know if I want to tease that yet.
Don't tease it yet.
I'm not
honestly, just keep it vague, yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I as I said, it's my favorite to ride. Favorite overall is the H1 and the H2R, but to ride it is the Duck. It's just unique and fun and bougie and fast and light. It's just such a like fun combo. Every time I ride it, I'm having a good time. So yes, that's a question. I won't tease too much.
Any advice for noobs who want to get a super bike?
Yes. First advice is that if you ride with other people, ride your own ride. Do not try to follow people. I've had friends of mine and people that I know that back then when I had some experience, because I used to daily my bikes, by the way. So when I had some experience, I would tell my friends, hey, don't like try to chase me. I'm going to be going a little faster. Like I'm not doing anything crazy, but like, you know, I know you guys are new and you're not comfortable. And a couple of them tried chasing me and crashed like 3-4 times or something like that. One of my buddies, and he totaled one of my bikes actually, which is now why I'm so picky about letting people ride my bikes, because my ZX6R technically, I kind of sold it to him, but not yet. But yeah, he was riding it and he full on totaled that bike. So RIP to the psychedelic ZX6R if you guys remember that bike. But yeah, advice for noobs is depending on yourself, either start with a 300, 400, you know, that beginner bike, or you could start with a 600 if you're a smart person and you can, you know, tone it down. But just take your time learning. It's going to take you, I would say, at least a year, maybe 2 of continuous riding to kind of understand how cars react, to understand corners, just little things here and there, the little like, oh, I almost crashed moments. You'll learn a lot from those and you're going to get a lot of those in the start, but hopefully nothing bad happens. So be safe, protected, and just kind of take your time. Do not rush it. Do not try to copy the people you see online or your friends or anything like that. Just take your time learning and it'll get better over time. And when you're comfortable on the bike, that's when you can, I don't know, like if you want to wheelie or do whatever you like, that's when you can experiment more, let's say, or go to the track, you know. That's, I think, my best advice that comes to mind for beginners. Front fender. Oh, this is going to be easy. I think so. This is 8 bolts for the front fender. This is a lot of bolts for front fender.
Yeah, that seems about right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Dude, that's going to look really good.
Yeah.
Right next to the Olins, too. Sheesh.
Yeah. I don't know what this one is. It literally says meter bracket. I'm assuming that's
Is it this?
It has to be this, but where are the bolts here? Maybe these guys?
What are your thoughts on the 1390 Super Duke?
I'm salty. This is the year before that came out. If that came out, if I knew that was coming out, I would have definitely waited. I would have probably gotten the the Speed Triple Triumph and waited. And when that came out, I would have gotten that for sure, because like it's an extra 100 cc's, 1400 cc's at 1.4 liters. That's pretty wild, you know what I mean? 100 more than this. It's not really 100, but you know, let's just say it's 100. It's a little like 80, I think, more or something like that. But yeah, I was pretty bummed about that because I don't know, I wanted that bike. The headlight design is different. I don't necessarily like it better or less. I think it's cool because it's more futuristic. They could have done more with the bike overall. I'll probably do a separate video on that, talking about like the details, and because it is an option that I might trade this in for that if I really want to stay with KTM. So it is an option. I might have to do the custom exhaust first. I won't do the tech pack. And if I do the custom exhaust and I really like this bike, then maybe I can take some of the parts I put on this and put it on the new one and do a swap. I think that would be cool. Because this is like the ultimate hooligan bike and it's a perfect daily. So, which Steve behind you, by the way, is gonna end up riding. I'm gonna ride his Diablo for a review, and he's gonna ride my KTM. So make sure you subscribe to him as well. You know,
Thank you, my
check out
boy.
his channel. We're gonna be doing a lot of rides, and maybe he'll do a review on this while I ride his Diablo, because some of you guys requested for me to ride the Diablo. So, yeah.
No, we're not. We're not doing that question.
What is it?
How many tickets you got this year?
Okay, how many tickets did I get? I don't think legally I can answer.
No, we're not doing that one either, dude. That's even worse. What's your body count?
My body count? You guys are getting real personal. I cannot answer that either. But yeah.
Oh, here we go.
A pretty good question. Just a little too personal, especially for YouTube.
All right, we got a question that I think is interesting because obviously you know what I do for a living.
Okay.
If you had to pick the Action 4 or the GoPro 12?
Action 4. I gotta do the Action 4. The GoPro 12 just gave me right from the get-go, out of the box, it gave me more issues and stuff that I had to deal with that I did not like, such as like transferring files, like basic stuff like that. Action 4, like with the low light, was crazy. The quality, everything about it is amazing. The only downside of the Action 4, as I talked about in that review, is pretty much the audio. You know what I mean? It's too good. You know what I mean? Which can be a problem sometimes because it's too isolated. Like if I'm out at a meet and stuff like that and I'm filming with people, you know, you can only hear me, you can't hear the other people. So it's very isolated and it's not as full as the other cameras. So
There you go.
but yeah, Action 4 it is. This titanium company is legit. That's why this stuff is really expensive.
Okay, next question. Will you ever buy a ZX-10R?
Oh man, I almost did so many times. After getting the H2, I don't know. I really wanted to get it as a track bike, but I think for for me personally, I would like to, but for content, it just wouldn't make sense because I feel like if I have the H2 and the H2R, like what's the point of getting the little brother? And it doesn't have anything unique to it, you know what I mean? Like R1 has a crossplane, this has a V4 engine. Each bike is like more unique in its own way. I think the ZX-10 is kind of like too similar to the Fireblade and the BMW, and I don't know, it's just kind of like a basic inline 4 pretty much, so it just doesn't make sense. And I just realized I need a bigger bit, so I'll be right back. But I don't think I would. I would really like the ZX, like the double R, the green one. I think that'd be cool because it's also, you know, rare and I don't know, cool, I guess. But yeah, as I said, at the same time, I don't think it would make sense because for content, it's just way too similar to. Hold on, I had to. There's like a few moving pieces here that I had to kind of lock in and be like, what's going on here? Why is this not going in? There's too many different like bits because the titanium ones are using the Torx and the other ones, the OEM ones, are using like the hex for most of them. So like I have to switch out different sizes and different stuff. So we don't want bolts falling off on me on the freeway, flying and hitting Mr. Steve, you know.
What is, in your opinion, the best 600cc bikes?
Bikes, so plural, not just one, right?
There's a few options here. There's a ZX6R, Z900, that's a weird question. Yeah, what's your favorite 600, or what's the best 600cc bikes?
I'm a Kawi fan, so I gotta go with the ZX6R, but I also really like the R6, so I gotta go either R6 or ZX6R. Those are my favorite two 600s. The ZX6 has more power than some of the other bikes. The R6 is just a great track bike, and I feel like you already got the best of both worlds, so like why even bother to look at other ones? So.
For someone looking to get into motovlogging, what setup would you recommend?
That is all preference on the type. Like, how do you want your footage to look like? Do you want it more professional, cinematic, blah, blah, blah? Or do you just want it to be like more, I guess, natural and minimal? So it's honestly preference. You can't go wrong with any of the modern action cams and stuff like that because they're all like really good stuff. And I'm hoping I didn't over torque this and break my carbon piece because if you guys don't remember, this is aftermarket. I upgraded this to carbon, so we definitely don't want to snap it. which, yeah, I think that's solid. I might even loosen it up a little bit, honestly.
I didn't know you upgraded those. Looks good. By the way, do they sell these in carbon?
Unfortunately not. I would definitely like to get the wings in carbon and the rear tire mud hugger in carbon too. But unfortunately, they do not, as far as I know at least.
Yeah. If you had to select one bike to ride for the rest of your life, which one is it going to be?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a really hard one. My first thought, I'm gonna do it just like first thoughts. It would probably have to go to the BMW. I think that bike
I did not expect that.
it just has a lot. You know, if it's on the only bike, let's say, okay, if I had to commute and use mainly the bike, BMW for sure. If it was more like for fun, my weekend bike, stuff like that, it would probably be the H2. It'll be a lot to daily the H2, but I've done it when I first got it, so it's doable.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah.
M1000. I'm shocked on that, dude. I thought you were gonna say the Duck.
No, the Duck is fun for fun.
Yeah.
You ride that bike to rip around and have a good time. It's temperamental. It requires more maintenance.
That's true.
Maintenance is more expensive. Parts on it are more expensive. It's not the most comfortable. The Duck has heated grips, cruise control. Like, come on. And
the BMW has heated grips.
And it's a lot. Yeah.
You said Duck.
Did I say
You
that?
said Duck.
Oh, the BMW. My bad. Thank you for correcting.
Got you.
So yeah, definitely, I would say the BMW is just like perfect package. You know what I mean? That is chill and long term. The Duck is like a spicy girlfriend. You don't want to deal with that all the time.
The next question here includes every bike you own. And yet, if you had to pick one, what's your favorite mod to any of them?
Mod, exhaust.
Yeah, I would agree.
The bikes, like if they sound stock, that could be why I don't like the Duke as much. And that's why I'm like, maybe I'll give it like an extra chance and let it scream, because I think that twin engine, it's a loud bike as is. So I feel like if it was fully straight pipe like my other bikes and get it retuned with the new custom pipe that I'm gonna make for it, I think I might like it a lot more because it's gonna sound very different and intense. I'm just bummed that it's not, what is it called? The 1390, the new one, because I want the biggest engine possible. So I don't know, we shall see. But yeah, first mod, most important mod in my opinion is an exhaust. It's hard to answer that question because technically if you do an exhaust, you should do a tune as well, because your bike is not going to run the smoothest, especially if you switch to a full, not just a slip-on, like a full system, like a decatted exhaust. It's going to sound a million times better, but also, as I said, the air-to-fuel ratio is not going to be the best. So make sure you get your bikes tuned if you do this mod, but I would still do that mod. Exhaust is a must. I can't not.
True.
Yeah.
Which bike is the most sentimental?
It has to be the H2. That's the bike that started it all. I literally started my channel pretty much because I got that bike. Like at first I just did it for fun, and then I think I posted like a couple of videos like teaching people how to ride just for the hell of it. And then after that, when I got the H2, that's when I was like, let me document this, you know what I mean? This was like my dream bike, realistic one. As I said, this was kind of like the unrealistic dream bike, the H2R. So when I got the H2, it was like, I wanted to document that. I literally bought it on my birthday, as I've told you guys before.
Yeah, we could do that one.
But yeah, what was the question? Sorry, yeah, the H2 is definitely the most sentimental. I started the YouTube channel mainly because of it, because I wanted to document not just buying it, but also like nobody just dailied an H2, and that's kind of what I did. I did normal stuff with it, and yeah, you guys enjoyed that, so.
I've seen this question a lot here, and it is the merch ever coming back?
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying harder than you think. I've talked to different people. We're supposed to, we already did the site, all that stuff. But I honestly don't have time to do that stuff myself. So I have to have like a manager and stuff like that, especially because, I'm doing YouTube. So if I do the merch myself and like, work all the details and all, my YouTube is gonna suffer a little bit more, which I don't want. So that's the thing with the merch, is that like it's taking longer because I have to wait and depend on other people instead of do it myself. But yes, definitely the plan. Hopefully for sure I wanted to do it by the holidays, so make a drop this month, but fortunately that didn't happen clearly. So hopefully next year. I'm trying.
All right, next question. But what is your favorite exhaust?
Is that a question?
No.
I know you guys know. You guys should know too. SE projects.
There we go.
All day, every day. I think almost all of my bikes have SE projects. Besides, I think the Duck has the Acro because I have the full Acro system on the V4R, which is kind of made for this bike. So it's kind of like hard to resist not to do that. But I would say still my SC, the old SC I had on it, did sound better. But I wanted the full system and kind of, you know, this is the bike for the exhaust for that bike. But other than that, SC clearly, I think, yeah, I have an SC on everything. Even the Rush came with an SC, which is kind of crazy. It didn't come with it, but it's like an upgraded package that has an SC, and they sound absolutely insane. So SC all day, baby.
It looks really wide on camera, but it is absolutely packed in here.
Yeah.
Like we are sardines.
You can probably see from me moving around that I don't have like much. I can't even put a chair around here. So, and I don't have a lift clearly, so it makes life a little bit harder.
Favorite event or meet from this year?
Ooh, it has to be, you know, my most, like the biggest one when I went to the hypercar meet and I took the H2R and I like kind of snuck it in. That has to be the favorite. Oh, they're right there. Sorry, I'm like looking for these two little bolts and I'm like, where do they go? I was trying to compare sizes.
Hey, yo.
They're the same.
I mean, they seem big enough to me. Way beyond average, even.
That is true. This is beyond average. Ladies, my 15% female audience, this is beyond average. I'm just saying. Well, did you ask a question? I don't know. I got.
Yeah, you said we were talking about your favorite event or meet from this year, and you said the hypercar meet when you snuck the H2 in.
When I snuck the H2R to that, I think that was just crazy. Like the way everything worked out. Like I didn't expect to get in at all. The H2R, how that event ended up folding. And kind of just worked out in a way. Like when I was leaving, it was completely unplanned. But the Zonda and the world record Koenigseggs and all that, they were leaving at the same time. So I was like, no way we're leaving this. Like that was just coincidence. And that's when I was like revving with these craziest like hypercars. So I was like, that was a meet to remember. And you guys really liked it too. So it has to be that one.
What made you leave, quote unquote, the car scene for bikes?
Honestly, like I never got too deep into the car scene in the first place, so like I didn't have to leave, you know what I mean? Like I was always into cars, but I wasn't as crazy about bikes as I was with cars. Like I'm not going to crazy car meets and stuff like that, you know? I always appreciate cars and all that, but didn't get as integrated in them, and I never had like a really cool car, like my dream car that I modified. But not like, you know, when I got the H2, that kind of like set me into that scene. But even before that, I think bikes are just not crazily modified. They're usually faster, louder, way more fun. You can't beat the fun on the bike. And the feeling of freedom, you don't have to go through traffic, you know, because you can just split lanes. So there's just too many benefits at the time. Yeah, just everything about it was just like, felt more right. As much as I still love cars, I feel like I'll always have to have a bike. Like it's a different feel. It's mainly like that. You can't replicate it. It's hard to explain too. It's almost like if I tell you, hey, go jump off a plane, go skydive, you won't understand how that feels like until you do it. That's what riding a motorcycle is. So yeah, I didn't let go of the car scene, but definitely, I don't know, it's just not the same. You know, it's two different scenes and I'm trying to combine them both together. Hopefully one day maybe we'll get a cool car and modify it on the channel and all that, but
True.
Yeah, bikes for life.
I'm gonna add one in there too, just for me, but price per performance. So,
That's true.
Literally unbeatable.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of to piggyback off that last question, do you have any plans in the future to do car content?
Yes. Ideally, I would like to get a cool car and modify it and do car stuff with it. It's just like, it's so hard to compete in the YouTube space right now. Like there's some massive creators like, you know, DDE and Stradman and stuff like that are like, these guys are at the hypercar level, so how am I going to compete with that? You know what I mean? Like, for me, when I do something, I like to, like, do it the best I can and be one of the best. That was kind of my goal for bikes. I think for cars, that's a little unrealistic right now. But as I said, I absolutely love cars, so it's definitely, like, still an option. And I would like to. It's just hard to, because obviously if I do that, it's going to take away from the bikes a little bit. So I'm trying to figure out that kind of, like, good balance before I do anything like that.
Solid.
But a Lambo or an R35 would be nice.
What is the loudest bike you've got?
There's actually 3 of them. So it's the Rush, surprisingly. This is one of the loudest bikes. Man, I should have brought the keys to the bike. So actually, we're going to go deaf and we're all going to be crying from the fumes inside the garage.
People don't understand, because I've seen the videos with the Rush, but when you hear this thing in person, it is absolutely ear piercing.
Yeah, that and the Fireblade would probably be the loudest, and the H2R as well. So those three for sure. It's just the Rush and the Fireblade. These are loud even when you start them. Like the H2 and the H2R, especially the H2R with that H2R OEM full system, is so loud when you rev it. It's like the most painful, I would say, when you rev it. But overall loud, like these just idle loud, and they're just loud, period. But the H2R, when you rev that thing, oh, you better pray for your ears.
Yeah, dude, like that meet we left when we fist bumped and I took off. And then you flew by me, dude. The H2R, when it's moving, that thing is so loud.
It's different. Everything about it when it's moving is different. Like that's what it's meant to do.
What are your thoughts on a Gixxer 1000R? Would you ever grab one?
Yeah, actually, that was supposed to be my next bike, actually, and slash my 10th bike. Because I wanted to get a Gixxer 1000 to have a Gixxer to complete the brand collection before I do the Triumph. And make that my track bike, like dedicated. I'm saying like no headlights, no tail light. Maybe I'll keep a tail light in case I do want to ride on the street, but no headlights, like full carbon fairings or something crazy, some cool livery, you know, like literally full track bike, like slicks, all that good stuff. So yeah, I like them. I don't like hate on Gixxer 1000s, to be honest. Like I think Gixxers are cool in general. Like all bikes are cool as long as they're super sports. Some nakeds do. It's just that they don't make any special models, which made me kind of hold back on getting a Gixxer for the longest time. That's mainly what it is. And now that if I want to get a track bike, it's a little more complicated because I need a truck to trailer it to the track and all that. So it's just more of a hassle, to be honest. And you guys don't, track content isn't like what I'm known for or anything like that. I've only done like what, maybe like 5 to 10 track videos. So nothing crazy, but look at this. It's done.
Yeah, it looks great. Check that out with the Olins. Starting to look really fresh, man.
Tying it up together.
That's my favorite so far.
I really like these because I feel like those stuck out before, like not in a good way, and now they're like kind of like blended in.
All right, this one might be a little difficult to answer, but we can do a rough ballpark.
Okay.
If you had to estimate, what's the full cost of the collection?
I did that in I'm gonna do the one without mods. Because with mods, I know the number, but I don't want to like expose it because I don't know, it feels weird. I want to be like, this is how much I spent on all of this. But the estimate, I think, was around 350K based on just MSRP. So that's before, you know, like fees and obviously before parts. So let's just say 350K.
A little light band.
On this collection. Yeah, a light band.
Light band. All right, let's see. Dude, a lot
also, about that question though, I do want to do a part breakdown of each bike specifically. I think that'd be cool. Be like, these are the mods I put, and roughly this is how much it is. And that's kind of like, I know the total price of each bike, where it's around like sitting gas. So I can talk about that. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like talking about like how much this whole collection is a little not my style. Like, look, this is how much money I spent on all this stuff. And it just feels weird to me. So yeah.
So many people are asking about Super Leg.
You can ask them.
I mean, okay. When there's a good one that comes up next, we'll ask it. I'm gonna ask my question.
Okay.
Little privilege here from the questioner. My question was, if you were starting a new YouTube channel in 2024, me maybe, what would you do differently and what would you do the same?
What I would do differently is, RIP. What I would do different, oh yeah, you're right. These are the little ones that would go right here that actually would look really sick. I've always talked before, sorry.
No, go for it.
I love modifying stuff that I can see. That's why I kind of like this. I think when I'm seated right here, I can see the gold.
True.
So, which looks cool in the video for you guys. It might be too low actually because of the camera angle, but anything that is here usually is more visible for you guys, which I like because, you know, you guys can see, I can see. It's more in front of me over this, which I'll probably never see unless I'm taking pictures, but it's still cool. So yeah, if I'm starting a YouTube channel in 2024, probably the first thing that I would do is study the niches. I didn't know that, like, let's say I'm making bike content, I get paid X amount. If I'm doing car content, you get paid a lot more. If I'm doing like educational stuff, you get paid a lot more. You know, if you do finance, there's a lot of different niches and it really matters. Let's just say this, if my niche was like health or cars or finance, I would have been a millionaire by now, given how fast we grew the channel. But unfortunately, I'm very far from that. So yeah, study your niche, because let's say like I like cars, I like bikes. There's a lot of things that I like. You know what I mean? If you want to put like 100% effort into it, make sure you get kind of whatever pays you the best in a way, because you like all of these anyway. So why not capitalize on making the best return out of it? You know what I mean? It's like a return of investment and pretty much ROI. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Just like study the niche, what you want to do. And obviously, like that niche that you decide to go with has to be something that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, it's gonna feel like work, which is gonna suck. Because even this, as much as I love riding bikes, doing it so much makes it feel like work and it taking the enjoyment out of it. But if I didn't enjoy it in the first place, I would hate it by now. So that's where you kind of got to think about that. Like do something you love and enjoy, because the energy does show in the video. And yeah, do a little bit more research about your topic and see like if you can capitalize on making the most out of it, because at the end of the day, like you want to live comfortably and make good money, obviously. So yeah, I think that's my best advice for the ongoing year. Just be genuine, work hard, and do some research. I did no research. I just like, I like bikes, like let's make videos. But I hope that answered your question.
Yes, sir, it did. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
We got about an hour worth of footage here, so.
Really?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, like 10 bolts, maybe 15 bolts. People are gonna be like, this is why you guys don't. You can't do work for nothing. It took me an hour to do this. Hey, it's because I'm answering questions, okay? And I gotta read where these go, like, and it's a little confusing a little bit, or maybe just confusing for me. I don't know. Look how many more boxes do we have?
Oh my god. Bruh.
Alright guys, we are done. Let me show you everything that we did. It took me too long because I was talking to you guys and doing questions and all, but these are the ones we already did. And then I ended up doing this stuff over here for the reservoirs on this side as well, for the Rizzoa mirrors as well right here. I've done these earlier actually. I did these as well, which you can barely see. But if you know, you know. At least these ones you can see a little bit better. These ones I like a lot for sure, because the silver kind of didn't look good. The gold on the carbon definitely looks really sick. This as well, this used to bother me, the silver. Now it fits really nicely with the seat. We obviously didn't do completely everything. We did some stuff like right here, and I think on the other side, like where else? Like right here. I definitely want to get these two for the pump right here for the brake. I thought I did, but I got them for the wrong side. I got these that go back here, which I'm gonna put somewhere else because you can't even see those. So I'm not sure. I still have a few more left, and we have the major big ones right here, which go for the upper triple clamp right here. These big ones, and mainly these three for the lower triple clamp, which are gonna look absolutely insane. But those, as I said, need to be torque spec'd. So that's why I'm not dealing with it. And when we take it to the shop, the tech is gonna torque spec it and just do it properly, you know what I mean? Because those are important. And as I said, I don't have the torque spec and all that, so not the right tools. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just installing parts while doing the Q&A. I want to show you guys the kind of finished product. It looks a lot better now. I was worried that it's gonna be overwhelming, but I think it looks a lot cleaner. I also got the golden, I guess, the gas cap cover. It used to be black, and I swapped it to gold because it's the same gold that is matching the Olins and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna end the video here. Thank you to the boys for hanging out, I guess, and helping me with the Q&A. And right now we're gonna go eat. This is the last video of 2023, as I said, so I appreciate everyone for watching, subscribing, and all that stuff. 2024 is gonna be, I want to say eventful, but it's also going to be surprising. I don't know. I'm going to 2024 without like any major plans. So it just kind of, I don't know, make content that I enjoy and that you guys enjoy, and have fun with it, I guess. So yeah, I'll see you guys next year. Happy New Year's, and hope you all have amazing holidays. Peace out, ride safe.